This time we're going to take a look at visual rhythms. And we're going to achieve those rhythms by using something called modulo. The modulo is represented in computer languages often as a percent sign. And it's nothing more than just the remainder of a division. So if I calculate what's 5 modulo 4, that's the remainder of this division. When you divide 5 in 4 parts, you have a remainder of 1. Let me show it with a small example here. If we have 5 glasses of water and we have 4 people, and you want to share those 5 glasses with those 4 people, then each person would get 1. And there's 1 remainder. There will be 1 glass without an owner. So let's make a small table here to see different examples. 5 modulo 4 is 1. And we can try this in processing. I'm gonna come here and type print 5 modulo 4. And if I run this program, I get 1. What happens if I type here 6 modulo 4? And I get a 2. So we know that 6 modulo 4 is 2. It would be similar to this example here, but we have 6 instead of 5. So in that case, we have 2 glasses without an owner. Each person would get 1 glass, and there's 2 glasses extra. What is 7 modulo 4? Well, maybe you can see a pattern already here. This is 1, this is 2, maybe 3. Let's try it out. Print 7 modulo 4 is indeed 3. Okay, how much is 8 modulo 4? This is a little bit more tricky. If here we have 8 glasses and 4 people, each person would get 2. Now this is gonna look a little bit messy, but one person gets 2, 2, 2, and 2. So there's no remainder. Every person gets 2, and 8 modulo 4 then is 0. And we can try it here. So here is the result, 0. I'm not gonna keep doing this forever. Just wanna show you that this is a cycle. We get here 1, 2, 3, 0. Then for 9 modulo 4 is 1. Each of those 4 persons would get 2 glasses, and there is 1 extra. And when we use 10 modulo 4 is 2. So you can see this is 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2. We always get a number between 0 and 3. And that can be a nice thing sometimes. I'm gonna show you how we can use this. So let's make a small program that has one variable, n. I'm gonna call this first number here n. It will start being 0 and it will increase. And we will calculate n modulo 4 and then see the results. So I'm gonna type here void setup. I'm gonna set the size of 500 times 400. A background color of white. And I'm gonna void draw. Let's add at the beginning our integer variable n, which is 0. And each time we draw, we increase n. So I'm going to type n equals n plus 1. Now I'm going to make this a little bit slower so we have some time to see what's going on. I'm going to type here frame rate, maybe just 5. And I'm going to print here n modulo 4. So on the bottom we should see now 0, 1, 2, 3, 0. 1. It's going quite fast anyways. Maybe if I type here frame rate of 2, it's easier to see. 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. We could achieve that by using an if statement. For example, if n is greater than 3, then make n equal to 0. But there are some interesting effects that we can achieve using the modulo that are not so easy to achieve just by checking if n is greater than some value. For example, let's make here an if statement. If n modulo 4 is 0, in that case, I'm going to draw a rectangle. Rectangle 0, 0, 100, 100. And let's set here a no stroke and a fill color of 50 to 140. The draw function is going to be called continuously, but this line would execute only 1 out of each 4 calls. And let me add here a background 255 to erase the screen. Let's run the program and see what's happening. there is a green rectangle blinking there. And what's happening is that n is equal to 0 just sometimes. Let's have a look at our list here. And you can see n modulo 4, or these numbers modulo 4 are 0 here, here. So it's every 4 times. It's drawing the rectangle 1 time, then it's 3 times empty. Then it's drawing again the rectangle, then it's 3 times empty. We could draw a second rectangle and we would start to see some kind of rhythm here. If n modulo 5 is 0, then draw a different rectangle. Rectangle 100, 0, 100, 100. This is a rectangle just right next to the previous one, but it's going to be only drawn 1 out of every 5 times the draw function is called. So at the beginning both are there, and now you can see they have a different rhythm. Let's make this a little bit faster. I'm gonna type here frame rate 7. And now you can see sometimes they synchronize, they both blink at the same time. And sometimes they drift away. One is blinking with a higher frequency than the other. The left one actually goes a little bit faster than the right one. Let's add one more. Here, if n modulo 17 is 0, then draw a rectangle at 200, 0, 100, 100. Remember, that's the width and height of the rectangle. They are all the same size, and they are 100 pixels apart from each other. This is at 0, 100, and 200. And now this rectangle will be drawn with a lower frequency than the other two. So now you see the third rectangle is only sometimes there, much less frequently than the other two. We have seen in the past how we could draw something sometimes. For example, typing if random of 100 is greater than 40, then here we draw a rectangle. But this is random, it is not predictable. We don't know if it's going to happen 2 times in a row or it's going to be then a long pause. It's like the weather or like the lottery. But this way we are using here is much more predictable. We know that out of every 4 frames we will get a rectangle in one of them, maybe the first one. It will be drawn in the first one because this is a 0. Let's make another experiment. Let's type here 4, 4, and 4. So now they have the same frequency, so they're going to be drawn 1 out of every 4 frames, but let's change this number here. Now we have here 0, 1, and 2. And you can see now that they illuminate in order. 1, 2, actually this is 0, 1, 2, and then nothing. 0, 1, 2, nothing. Because we are not doing anything for the case when n modulo 4 is 3. If we would now increase the number, for example 7, n modulo 7 equals 0, equals 1, or equals 2. That means that out of this loop of 7 frames, we're going to draw something on the first, on the second, on the third, and then on the remaining 4 frames, we're not going to draw anything. So we're going to draw 1, 2, 3, and then there's a pause of 4 frames. 1, 2, 3, then a pause of 4 frames. So you could read this as, in this loop of 7 frames, if it's the first one, draw a rectangle. And this is in this loop of 7 frames, if it's the second frame, draw a rectangle. And here the same for the third frame. And you can combine loops of different lengths. You could type here any number. You can make a loop of 100 or maybe 2. If you want something to be on one frame, then the next one off, the next one on, the next one off. You can type like this, n modulo 2 equals 0. And now this is going to be here blinking regularly. 1 time is on, 1 time is off. The other 2 are more rare. So you can combine this in many different ways. In the next episode, we will have a look at different effects we can achieve with it.